Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for February 2023. Today is January 17th that I'm recording this, and this month is pretty much over. So the first month of 2023 is pretty much over, which surprises me. For those of you who are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. For those of you who've been with me for a while, thank you for sticking around. This is a general reading, so the messages will not resonate with everyone. I suggest that you please do check back to your moon and rising signs. Also, to gain any insight into your own situation requires a personal reading. You can go to my About Box channel there, and it will tell you the reading packages, the length, the number of questions, the price, and then you can simply email me at the email address you see there in the top right hand corner in the little box. Say, hey Tara, I want 45-minute reading, and then we'll go from there. Okay. I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have with me the Levita Sibilas. I also have the Fin de Cycle, or the Kippers as they're known, and I'll be pulling an Angel Answer card and a Golden Nostradamus unless the story is something else. Okay, you're gonna hear the lawnmower in the background. I've got my windows open. It's a nice day outside. Hannah's outside mowing the grass for me, and so poor thing, she's been so busy, and her classes started again today. So these are her last two classes before she can apply to nursing school. So we've got our fingers crossed. She's got the extra points that she needs to kind of climb over the other group of people that are there. But I don't think she's quite made her decision yet if that's really what she wants to do, because the fire department's hiring and she wants to be a paramedic. And you can only get a job here in Corpus as a paramedic if you are a firefighter. So I don't know. She keeps asking me, Mom, ask the cards. And I said, cards can't tell you what career you need to have. I mean, that's a decision you're going to have to make. So anyway, let me go ahead and turn the camera around. I've already done some meditation and shuffling on the Gemini sign and glyph. I'm going to try to turn this around rather slowly. Okay, and as you can see, you have had a card already present itself. This is the Knight of Wands. This is the fiery part of fire. Okay, so I'm gonna put another shuffle and rifle on these. See, I don't know if Mercury has already went direct or if that's on the 18th, which would be tomorrow. The reason why I say that is I've often see this card show up when there's a Mercury retrograde. Let me just double check right quick. I don't know why I closed the program out earlier. The transits. Where are we? Yes, Mercury has already gone direct. When did he go direct? Oh no. Wait a minute. No, he doesn't go direct. Yeah, he's going direct tomorrow. That's what it is. So that could be that. All right. And so let me put the we have a new moon in Capricorn on the 26th of this month. We also have a full moon coming up on the 5th of February in the sign of Leo. And Uranus will be going direct. I don't know when. If you haven't signed up for my Newsstack newsletter yet, there will be an article tomorrow, coming out tomorrow, on the changing energy, because as we go on through the year, eventually there will be 10 planets all in direct motion, and that's a very, very rare thing. So make sure that you sign up for the free newsletter. You can do so by looking up on my channel art and finding the icon for Substack, and then go on over. It is a free newsletter. So as you can see, we've had the Four of Wands present itself there. I just cut the card, so let's just lay the rest of the cards, shall we? The Ace of Swords. Well, that's quite interesting. Next row, Seven of Swords, Three of Cups, Two of Wands. Yes. Last row, Eight of Cups, Page of Pentacles. That's an odd column. 9 of Cups. Wow. Now, what strikes me first is that there are no major arcana cards here. So the major arcana card are your spiritual lessons. So this tells me that whatever's happening is happening on a mundane, everyday, third dimensional level. Okay? We have 1, 2, 3 wands. We have 2 swords. We have 3 cups and a pentacle. The wands represent, traditionally they represent your work and career, but for me they simply represent the idea of your focus, your determination, you know, your desire, your passions. That's what the wands represent. The swords represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, communications. The cups simply represent the emotional quotient, how you are feeling about something or what type of emotions are associated with the situation. And finally, the pentacles can be either financial or the actual doing of something, okay? So all of those things are just on the third dimension. So there are no big major spiritual lessons here. This is just an everyday kind of a situation here. What is the energy over the entire reading? That moon that I was talking to you about. So we do have a new moon, as I said, in Capricorn on the 26th. I don't know why I can't. Well, you guys know I've been having memory issues, so hold on one second. No, it's on the 21st. I beg your pardon. It's on the 21st. And then the full moon in Leo will be on the 5th of February. That I know for sure because I just looked it up. So I think what I find interesting about this is this 3 of Cups in the center. So 3s can be an indication of at least 2 or more people being involved, okay? 3s can also say that there will be, it speaks to a pleasant surprise if there's 2 3s, but there's only the 1 here. So the other meaning of 3s when they show up in a reading is this idea of, you know, delays before future successes can be realized. And so past, present, future interplay of the cards, everything is going around this 3 of Cups as if to say that there's been something that has occurred in your life or that will be occurring that is something to celebrate. So this can be engagement announcements, it can be bridal showers, it can be weddings, it could be baby showers, the birth of a child, a graduation. It implies that there's something that you get together with, you know, friends or people to celebrate. But when I laid this first row down and you heard me go, oh, well, that's interesting, because I said to you that I see the Knight of Wands show up quite often under a Mercury retrograde, is because typically this is an indication, 2 things. First, the court cards traditionally represent people, but for me the knights and the pages represent news and information coming in. In this case, I'm going to say that this is 2 things at once. It is someone, but it is also some news and message, a message and news that comes with this guy. And the news and message talks about moving a situation along. That's what the knights do. They come in to move a situation along through either the introduction of people or messages and news. So for me, under Mercury retrograde, usually the Knight of Wands speaks to the return of someone from your past. It could be an ex-lover, okay? And I would say that maybe in the past, this person was rather sketchy. If not rather sketchy, then the manner in which they behaved was rather suspect. Okay, let's see what I have. I don't have any double meanings. I mean, any double numbers that have shown up. It's all single numbers. I have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 7, 8, and a 9. Okay, a 10, and an 11. Okay, that's how you number the court cards of a suit. And so the 7 of Swords can be this idea that Someone's been lying. Someone's been perpetrating a fraud in open daylight. They've been stealing from you. They've been robbing you. And when I say that, people can steal or rob you in many ways besides taking physical objects or money from you. They can rob you of your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your faith, your trust. Okay, it's perpetrated out in the open. It also can be sometimes that the person's been spying on you and delving into things that are not their business. It can talk about arguments, disagreements, disappointments, fights. This is usually due to the incident that someone thinks someone is doing something that they should not be doing. But I've also seen the card show up when it speaks about things not going the way that they should because someone is distracted. They're not paying attention. They're rushing around. They're hurrying. Okay? But for me, this feels like it was someone who, and as you can see, they're faced towards the past. So this is someone returning in or news coming in from the future about the past. Okay? Having to do with this person who's been perpetrating this fraud. And in fact, it was enough of a situation to make someone walk away. And I'm going to say after 8 months. All right? Someone decided, you know what, that's not good for me, and there was a split up. When I looked at this reading here, to me this was this idea of, this is the shacking up card. Okay? It's not the marriage card. This is not a card that promises a commitment. What it says is that it could be a relationship where there could be long-term associations with it, or a relationship that may be moving towards long-term commitment. But it's, this to me says that the card was made official, that perhaps it was interpreted as this is a marriage proposal or wedding proposal, okay, to come in with this individual. If this is the case, this individual is someone who is sexy, is passionate, moves quite quickly, doesn't always think things through, but simply just kind of gallops ahead with whatever it is that strikes their fancy at the moment. This idea of rushing around and not having their delays or whatever says to me that whatever the celebration, it was premature. And now we come to the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is being at a crossroads. The card says that, you've already done some things, but there's more work to do. But now you have a choice. You have to make a decision. That's what twos are about. Choices, decisions, oppositions, challenges, a crossroads. Okay? And so now we're looking back over, why wasn't the celebration successful? Or why did things break down? Why were there fights and there arguments? So now, do I want to go back and try to fix it? Or do I want to move in a different direction? We see here, this tells me that someone changed their mind about something. Okay, and I say maybe a formal proposal or the possibility of a marriage proposal, because that's one of the meanings of the old interpretations of the Ace of Swords. It was looked at as viewed as a formal proposal. So this was a relationship that could have led to that, but I don't think that it did. There's something has occurred. Okay, but the Ace of Swords is also the most powerful ace in the deck, and it says that anything, whatever, no matter what the situation, when the card makes its appearance in a spread, something is going to change. It's inevitable. So the Ace of Swords can be new ideas, new projects coming to the fore, new thoughts, new communications, whether this is communications with others or communication with the self. But it can also be, it's a sword, so there's a double edge to it. So it could also be the excessive degree of everything: fear, anxiety, worry, bad news, someone poking a hole in your dreams. Okay, and this brings me to the bottom row, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, this is an eclipsed moon here. It is the only eclipsed moon in the deck. But the Eight of Cups, first of all, it's an 8, and 8s are usually positive numbers. They're karmic numbers. They usually deal with finances. But 8s can also be the idea that there are obstacles and hassles and delays. And in this case, what the Eight of Cups is saying to me is that someone felt the need to walk away from previous things. And again, this timing of eight months keeps coming up. Walking away from a situation after 8 months because they feel or they have felt that there was something missing. They needed something more, whether this is on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. I think what always strikes me about this particular card is that the individual leaves under cover of darkness with just the clothes on their back. They don't take anything else, they just leave. So when I talk to you about the Knight of Wands showing up under Mercury retrograde, I have always said to you, if a person comes back into your life under Mercury retrograde, be prepared because they're not going to stick around. Okay? They're going to show up and then they're going to leave again. Okay? But we see here with the Page of Pentacles. Now, as I said to you, the Pentacles can be about finances. So this could be the idea of perhaps a new job offer coming in, or a new someone offering you a new financial opportunity. But the Page of Pentacles is also a student of the third dimension. So this could be learning a new skill, learning a new job, boning up on something that is going to, quote unquote, kind of give you some value as you go. This could be going back to school, whatnot, getting a new certificate or certification or something of that nature. And it ends with this odd Nine of Cups. Now, you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with the Nine of Cups because the Nine of Cups never really tells you anything, except that it is the wish card. It says that your hopes, wishes, and dreams are coming true. But here's what I find to be very strange is the person comes back, or the news comes in, brings us to a decision, and somebody says, that's not good enough for me. But then over here, yes, something changes, but it changes. Why does it change? It changed because of something suspect here. Either someone behaving, either you or someone else behaving in a way that you think the ends will justify the means. Maybe somebody's lied to you. Maybe somebody's been spying on you. Or maybe it's just that, you weren't planning well enough. Okay? But it leads to this odd, your wish coming true. Now, falling under the auspices of the moon says, first of all, to trust your intuition. It is about continuing down the path even though you don't have the full light of day. It is about taming the domestic side with the wild side as your feelings and emotions surface. So the moon deals with psychological issues. It could be fears. It could be traumas. It could be old emotional wounds. But also it is a timing. So a full moon cycle. Now, the last eclipsed moon that we had, and this could be a timing issue as well, to say that this is when this person came back or you got this particular news and things fell apart, was November 8th of 2022. However, we have another eclipse coming up on April 20th. And I say that because this is our future row. Okay? And for me, what the Ace of Swords with the Two of Wands means that there will be, a mental course correction or an opportunity to reverse course, which may be why you end up getting what you want. Okay? Now, there's nothing for me to look at here because there are no additional, I can with the moon here, but it's not in the reading itself. But over the reading, this card has an influence over these particular cards. It's a timing issue. Okay? It's talking about what may be coming up between this next moon cycle, all the way out to the next eclipse. Now, back on my website, and I hope those of you who were members at the time did download your Eclipse Survival Guide, where it talks about if people leave under eclipses, the next time you're going to get an opportunity maybe to see them again or maybe get back together would be 6 months from the last eclipse. Okay? And it talks to you about not begging the people to come back, not, sacrificing your emotions to appease people. Okay? And so I think it is two things at once. I think it is definitely related to either the last eclipse or the one before that in November. If not November, in October or November. It may even go back to May. Okay? Lunar eclipse. So May, October, and November, but it also is speaking to the next eclipse that's coming up in April, definitely associated with the moon here. So let me just take a look to see if there are any additional if there's any additional information that I can bring forth here. Let's see if this ace has any indication next to any of these cards. Talks about shrugging off pessimism to put the past behind you. There are good things ahead. Nothing about the Ace of Swords. Now, I can't look at these two because traditionally these are people, okay? But these are news. This is a situation that comes along and a person to move something along. But this is a message about doing something, okay? Actually doing something. And I find it interesting that it falls underneath these two cards. So let me see. This could be the idea that maybe you wanted to move in with somebody, then somebody changed their mind, but now you may get an opportunity to move back in together. Okay, something has changed or will be changing. Let's see with this, the Two of Wands. Well, with the Seven of Swords, here it is. It is an indication that unnecessary disturbances over insignificant and unnecessary situations may take place in the very near future. The message is to sort out any problems as soon as they arise. There we go. If you do that, I think I think it's going to be successful. Or at least the situation will resolve itself. Okay, let me put it that way. The Four of Wands, I think I looked at that just now. I didn't. I looked at the two. Let me go back to the Four of Wands. Let's see about the Ace of Cups. Eight of Cups, I'm sorry. Here. Listen, it is an indication that a new interest is on its way into your life. This could be by way of personal relationships or the experience of new knowledge gained. Positive changes within your personal relationships will bring you a stress-free and harmonious time. It indicates an overall improved perspective in many areas of your life. It implies that something of importance is missing from one's life and tells of the quest of finding inner contentment and purpose. It speaks of having both emotional and material stability at present, but there is a need within to find a deeper level of commitment. A drastic, sweeping change may be called for to satisfy this longing. It also suggests that it is time to accept and move on in your life. Well, okay, there's the Eight of Cups. Let's see, the Four of Wands. I wanted to look at that card. Nothing about the Four of Wands. I did the two. Let's look at the Three of Cups here. Indicates that any problems that have arisen in the past will be resolved and you will soon be free to celebrate. Well, there you have it. And then, as I say, the Nine of Cups tells me nothing. And none of these cards tell me anything next to with the Moon card. Let me move over here to the Seven of Swords. Because sometimes this card can be a tricky card to interpret. The Seven of Swords. Well. The Seven of Swords with the Nine of Cups. There is a meaning here. It is informing you that your wishes, your wants and desires will come to fruition, but not necessarily as you would expect. That's why I think the Moon has come out. Because the Moon kind of says that, well, the Moon is changeable in itself. And since it really represents the idea of deep psychological things that are going on, it represents our emotions, and we know that everyone can be emotionally changeable. This is why we always caution you not to make any major decisions under a full moon. And so this could very well be that there's a decision you're going to have to make around this full moon, all the way out through to the April 20th eclipse. Okay? But that you'll be traveling down a path in which you really don't have a clear view of. Now, that can be a scary thing, but I think that if we are able to balance out our emotions, that we can, and when I say balance out the emotions, I think what I'm trying to say is if we can be mindful about trusting whatever our gut is telling us, whatever our intuition, if it's dreams, if it's information coming to you not through logic but through intuition, through psychic events, then you should trust whatever that is saying to you. Now, first thing I want to do, I don't think I want to use these. I want to see what this Knight of Wands is all about. Okay? Because he knights here and there and across this row and here. But it is the Eight of Cups that anchors this entire reading. So was this lies? Was this someone being deceitful? Or is it someone who just changed their mind suddenly without any explanation? Or at least the explanation that they gave just never rang true. Sometimes it happens, you know. People leave us, they break up with us, they separate from us, and they either don't say anything at all, or the reason that they give us is rather suspect. Now that this Three of Cups in the center could be an indication that there was a third party involved, okay? But I don't know. The Il Nemico. So definitely someone from your past, someone that you know. And how that the Il Nemico relates is it is someone who, whoever the first person is, the enemy who comes to your mind is that person. This is the confirmation saying, yes, that is that person. Okay? But it is also someone who's always going to work against you. Remember that opposition that I was telling you about, whether you are opposed within yourself, will I, won't I, will he, won't they, or someone opposing you. So that tells me that this is someone from your past. It is someone that is your declared enemy, or if they're not your declared enemy, the enemy is known to you, and it's a person that you get a bad feeling every time you're around that person. Okay? The Ammalato. And in fact, the situation with this person is making you sick. It's a toxic kind of relationship. It's a toxic person. It's a toxic situation. It's been making you ill. The La Nemica. That's quite interesting. For two reasons. In a way, it's a situation between two people who are the sworn enemies of each other, okay, and that have really been making each other sick. But while this is an enemy known to you, that third party that I was talking about, this could be an unknown enemy to you, someone who is difficult to unmask. This is a person that you trust. You tell all of your secrets to, and then they turn around and use that knowledge to gain the upper hand. Okay? It is also a warning card to say that this person will be striking or is about to strike, but it's going to be difficult to unmask that person. It could be someone in your circle of friends. Okay? So you two are known to each other, but they're also, if this is a third party, this is somebody that has not presented their true face to you yet. Okay. Wow. That's deep. Okay. So let's take a look at this Seven of Swords, shall we? Speranza, the hope card. Hang in there. Suffering's about to end. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The Messaggere. Remember I said this is a message or news from somebody. It's coming from somewhat like the future into the past. But the Messaggere doesn't tell me, there's no indication of what the news is about. Think of him like the horseman in the Lenormand. So perhaps within a week's time to 2 weeks with this moon. Okay. Just says there's news from afar. The news that this maybe gives you hope. Okay. That suffering is about to end. The letterato. So someone who has been giving great thought to whatever it is. They have a lot to say. Normally this card represents people of artistic persuasion. So it can be an artist, some kind of crafts person. But it's someone who's skilled and knowledgeable, extremely smart. In a way, it's kind of like he's waiting to have this conversation. So maybe he can't have the conversation in person. So he sends a letter. News coming. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this 8 of Cups. Actually, no. I want to look at the 9 of Cups. And the only reason is, here's what I'm getting. If this is a situation of someone from your past, it may be that you get news, or you hear news, a person shows up, but you find out when they come back that there is somebody else. There has always been someone else. And so walking away from this situation, actually doing it, you do kind of get maybe what you want, but not in the manner in which you, like it says, in the manner that you expect. So in other words, this could be the idea that this is like a blessing in disguise for you. Now you know. Maybe the thing has been that you have never known what had really happened, or what the person's motivation was. Okay? Well, now you get your wish. Now you get to know what the motivation is. Fedeltà, loyalty. Conversazione, conversations. So the fedeltà can be just that, someone that we trust or we can confide in, but it's also a firm belief in faith, perhaps in an idea. You're going to get to have face-to-face conversations and discussions about this. This could literally be the opportunity to meet the person face-to-face, having coffee with them, or something of that nature. It indicates being seated around a table, having conversations with people. But then there's the desperate jealousy. Now, in love, this could be someone who's extremely jealous of another person. But one second, it is the now talking to you about that possibility of a third party. If that is the case, the person can pretend to be your friend, but really holds a lot of enmity and jealousy and rancor against you. Okay? So, consumed with jealousy. It indicates not being able to see beyond the present moment, or even being stuck in the past, unable to resolve some problem without finding the necessary inner resources to pull through. It can also be a card that indicates all forms of self-harm, feelings of guilt, shame, and deep regret. It heralds tears, deep worry, and many hours spent crying. It can also point to substance abuse. This could be the idea that you get there and you start drinking, and then everything just breaks down. Okay? So again, be careful with that. It can symbolize the advanced stage. It warns of a toxic environment and toxic people around you. Remember, I said that. Okay? It says that you're going to find out that the people that you thought were your friends and who were nice and the situation was really great have always been deeply envious and have been scheming behind your back. It indicates treachery, slander, gossip, and envy. It is a card that warns of danger that comes from your circle of acquaintances. In love, it indicates extreme jealousy, envy, and possessiveness, as well as a selfish love centered around self-gratification or social climbing. Love, if it can be called love, comes with a heavy price to pay. But in any kind of relationship, it indicates a lack of trust and a loss of self-respect. It also warns that you are about to trust someone who will ultimately lead you to your ruin. Okay? She And they've shown up together, which I find to be very, very interesting. And she is more dangerous than he. It represents someone in whom we trust but who secretly wants to betray us. It is someone who wears a mask of helpfulness and nicety so that you'll lower your defenses and get them to trust you with their secrets. The person will then use this knowledge to inflict great pain. The fundamental difference between this card and this card, the declared enemy, the declared enemy is someone whom you already suspect or dislike. However, this person, okay, is a woman, most definitely. It indicates ferocious gossip and slander and unfriendliness. The person will stop at nothing until they have succeeded in trying to destroy your reputation. It says, in love, this card represents betrayal and someone who wants to break up a couple so that they can steal the partner for themselves. It can be an obnoxious ex-girlfriend or wife with an axe to grind. It represents someone with serious emotional baggage and grave negativity in their aura. The person is greedy, wicked, and extremely ruthless. Sometimes the card can represent false advice, given with the malicious intent of leading you down the wrong path so the person can benefit in return. The meaning can be summarized as, you must die so that I may live. It also indicates dissolution, vice, misogynistic attitudes, danger from unknown sources, all forms of perversions, and anything that goes against the greater good. It is a card that gives a serious warning that there is danger lurking in an environment that is already part of your everyday life, such as leisure activities, friends, or family. And the danger is in the form of someone who nurtures a great hatred towards you and is difficult to unmask. And I think this represents the idea of someone trying to figure out how to, they're behaving in a weird way, and how to tell you or break this news. I think that the person didn't know how to do it, so that what they decided to do was just walk away from the situation. Kind of, left you hanging. What my daughter calls it, put you on red, where you're just kind of left out there and you don't really get an opportunity to understand anything because the person won't communicate with you. But they show back up. But they show back up trailing this, with this individual attached to them. Okay? Most definitely. Let's formulate a question for the and eclipses hide things, and you usually won't know until 6 months down the road, perhaps, sometimes even a year later, what it is that's been hidden from you, and all of a sudden it will become clear. Here's your card. The situation will improve. Formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. Man, why do you guys bust into my room like the police? I don't get it. Huh? Why do you always bust into my office like that? Huh? Okay, yeah, I love you. Yeah. Hey, Nani. Hey, Nani. Okay, let me finish. Oh, okay, thank you. Let me finish. Let me finish. All right, here's your card. It's this one. Number 10, and I don't know what that card is. So first let's start with the situation will improve. Okay? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like a blessing in disguise. It may still be painful. It may still be low down and dirty, backstabbing, the whole bit. But if that's the case, rather she have him than you. Know what I mean? Okay, so that's how it's coming across. Your angels want you to know that they are aware that things look difficult right now. However, the situation is going to improve. It may take some time, and there will most likely be some hard work ahead of you. But the effort you put forth will be well worth it, and things are going to get better. Now, here's what it says. Now is not the time to give up on wounded friendships or ailing relationships. There is still hope for the future. Take heart and continue to work toward a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future. Well, I'm not going to tell you to give up on this relationship or the ailing relationship. In terms of hope for the future, it is this idea that you're going to finally get the answers that you need to do whatever it is you need to do. Okay? And, you know, working towards a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future, you can say, well, you know what? I wish you luck with that. And then go off to find somebody else who's going to be true to you and who's not going to lie and be treacherous. Okay? Now, on the off chance that you are the third party individual, I don't know. You could find out that the person changes their mind again. Number 10. It is called the Navigator. Well, those who travel wide and far may change the view, but never their heart. Departure for a journey or a new undertaking, either yours or someone you know. The message is to leave burdens and pain behind as they are useless baggage. Well, there it is. So this is what I have for you, Gemini, for the month of February 2023. I hope that message helps. And until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.